should we be scared of AI or no?
No, not at all. I think there's still a lot more that could be done safely. And we are not at that level right now where people should start getting scared of AI. If you think of job replacement, then yes, that might be one of the worries. And we can already see that, right? The jobs are getting replaced. The coder, software development, that kind of things are already getting replaced quite quickly. So if that's the scare you're talking about, then uh, slightly yes. But if you are talking about scary in terms like the AI would take over, the machines would take over, no, not that sort of thing at all. Nothing on sci-fi basis would happen very soon.
At what point does that begin to become a threat? Because from what I can see using AI, right, it's reading stuff that people have already produced and it's making a
Mhm,
calculated decision based on that. At what
mhm.
point does AI start thinking for itself?
I think there is a still lot more to go. So even though whatever you are seeing is already trained. So the AI has already been trained on that data. And until unless it has not seen some data, it won't do anything. And currently there is a huge gap between what the AI is and the human centric capability. So for example, the human like capabilities that we have, for example, the way we see the scenes, the way we describe the scenes, the way we understand the scenes, humans, and the way AI sees, understands, and describes the scene, there is a huge difference. Um AI works well for simplistic scenarios, but if you go for complex scenarios, then it fails a lot as well. So I think there is a huge gap between the understanding of AI and human like understanding at the moment is still that's true.
And how
And
long will
yeah,
it take to get to that human level of kind of
I don't know.
cognizance?
So I feel like the more Max 7 is investing and the governments are investing in AI, the quicker it'll be. But I think it's still a long way to go. Especially achieving that human like understanding is still a long way to go. So if you take a robot and leave it in a very crowded environment, for example, a fair or something like that, right? It won't be able to navigate, it won't be able to understand. The robot still cannot understand like human body languages, human emotions, all those kind of things are still a big challenge. So I feel like there's a long way to go. But seeing that so for example, the UK government is investing so much, the big companies are investing so much. So we might see a lot of, so there is still a lot of scope, but yeah, it's still a long way to go.
Have you ever seen Ex Machina?
No.
It,
What is that?
it's a movie and it's about AI.
Mhm.
It's about artificial intelligence, and it's one of the most incredible movies that I've ever seen in my life. I'd highly recommend it. But essentially, it's the basis of the movie is you have this billionaire, a little bit like Elon Musk, right? You have this
Mhm.
tech billionaire that is inventing AI, and he's trying to figure out to how to prove that the AI is cognizant. And the only test that he can come up with to prove that the AI is cognizant is if it tries to manipulate people in order to get what it actually wants, because that proves
Yeah.
a couple of different things. And I would highly suggest watching it. It's super scary, but I think there's obviously this the Terminator side of things that everybody's going crazy about, and they think doomsday is going to happen. And I don't believe in that. But what I do think is going to happen is there's an exponential curve. And, AI at the moment is extraordinarily powerful. But what do you think it will be like in 5, 10 years?
I think some people are trying to predict what that will be in 5
Mm.
to 10 years, but nobody knows. This is what I will say. Because we are still, I'll talk in terms of research that is happening behind all of these things, right? So, first of all, the research that has been happening behind the scenes on AI is actually not so there is a gap between the research and the impact, so direct impact. So for example, if we develop an AI that can understand human emotions, right, actually implementing that in real world system is another challenge. So do you understand there is like a pipeline that has to be followed? So first you come up with an AI that is smart enough. Then you have this implementation into real world scenarios, and then testing, and then actual deployment of those AI models.
Mm.
So these three steps need to be done for the AI to be actually interacting with the real world, right?
Okay.
And what has happened is, although a lot of research, so research is moving quite fast, the implementation in the real world scenario is not there yet. So that gap is there. And and unless there is a quick deployment route for all the technology that is being developed, I think it might be 10 years or so before you could actually see AI in every aspect of a normal person's life, for example. Or you see robots moving around, and then you can actually buy them at home for your daily tasks. That kind of things would take time. That's what I'm saying.
So that is the kind of the snag that we're hitting at the moment, is
Yeah.
implementing it into the real world. So do we
Yeah.
have the technology? It's just that we are struggling to
No,
phase
we
it in.
don't. So we don't even have the technology yet. So, for
Right.
example, you take up a very simple example where an AI is looking at a video, a YouTube video, or any real time videos from a phone camera or something like that. The way it describes the scene is very mechanical. So it says there is a person sitting on a chair. This car is moving in this direction. It might hit, there might be a collision, stuff like that. But when we see the scene, we can understand the context behind it. For example, I can see some, if a human looks at this conversation, they might predict that there's a podcast going on, right? But
Yeah.
so there is a lot of context behind human understanding from years and years of us absorbing the situations around us, and that is completely missing from AI. And there is this example that how does a child learn, right? So when a child is born, they start to learn language, they start to learn environment, they start to learn words, they start to learn context. That kind of understanding, that kind of learning capabilities are still not present in AI, and until and unless they are present, we cannot see like scary stuff out there. So yeah, so I think uh, even the research is not there,
Hmm.
and then bringing it to real world is another challenge.
Do you think that will happen though? Do you think down the line? Now,
No,
listen, it
I
might.
don't think so.
How come?
uh, I just feel like, because I have been working in this field for almost like 10 years now,
Hmm.
and the way it is moving is quite slow. So even like making the AI understand that this is the cause and this is the effect. For example, talk about descriptions of scenes, right? Or
Mm.
just identifying what is happening in the scene. The cause, so telling the AI that this is the cause of this event, and if you do this, this might happen, is also very difficult. Like it, just throwing large amounts of data is not the solution anymore, I feel, because there is already like AI which has been given millions and billions of examples and data, but giving that human like understanding to the AI is now what people are looking at, like creating specific models for specific problems, sort of
Mhm.
something like that. So that's why I feel that even 10 years down the line, we won't be able to. So maybe we will be very close to a human like AI system that can actually hallucinate or behave like a human, or we may feel that it's like a human, but actually it won't be.
And but so, I suppose from my perspective, because you've
I don't
got
know. I feel like you thought that that might happen, and I'm breaking your heart when I'm
no,
saying
no,
that.
no, not at all. I'm fascinated. But what I'm most fascinated with is the scalability of it and how quickly it's moving. Right, because I remember 5 years ago using. Or was it even out 5 years ago? Maybe 4 years ago using ChatGPT, and it was awful. It sucked. You could,
Yeah,
you know, you
yeah,
couldn't. Whereas now, you ask it something, and
Gives very
sometimes.
reasonable answers.
Yeah,
Yes, especially
very.
the premium versions of things are brilliant. Actually, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And
Yeah.
see, in terms of idea generation, if I do YouTube and podcasts. So a lot of what I do is sometimes I'll run out of ideas and I'll say to
Hmm.
ChatGPT, listen, give me 20 ideas for watch videos that have high retention rates, XXX, be very specific. And normally it gives you 10 that kind of suck. But then the other 10, you think, actually, that I could probably use that. And it's the exponential curve in which it's moving that I suppose people are bouncing on and taking anxiety from, maybe because of how fast it's going up.
So actually, so one more thing is, what is AI according to most of the people? I think what people have started doing is associating ChatGPT, Gemini, all these models with AI. But AI is much more, right? What ChatGPT, uh, Gemini, all these things are offering are more towards textual text side of things, where you're bouncing off ideas, getting help with writing, for example, getting help with your daily task and stuff like that. But the AI should be is much more multimodal than that. And what I mean by multimodal is not just absorbing text information, but videos, generative capabilities as well. So if you just look at this agentic AI, which is using text information mainly, then yes, that is very advanced at the moment. But for me, AI is more multimodal, where for example, an AI model sees videos or sees outside environments or hear information, that all information, like the the models that process that information are still like not very mature. This
Right.
is what I will say. So there should be like a line drawn between what people understand of AI. Copilot, ChatGPT are not just, that's not AI. That's, I mean, that is AI, but that's not the extent of it. There is a lot more to it compared to what people are actually using.
If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page, where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast, and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.